Is this new DLC vehicle worth your money? Well, let's find out. It's the Maibatsu MonstroCiti, costs you about 1.5 million, call it 1.8 with your upgrades, and it's based very heavily indeed on the Mitsubishi Pajero Evolution. The Pajero, which has other names in other countries, for example the Shogun in the UK, has won the Dakar Rally a lot of times, and to put these cars in the rallies they used to homologate the cars by making 2,500 road versions, and for this second generation they made red, white and silver ones. As I looked for my day one vehicle on day one, this one jumped off the page at me absolutely as the first one to buy. I was instantly attracted to the looks of the vehicle. It looked so much like the real thing, and of course it really has that Dakar rally vibe. You've hopefully seen already that it drives pretty well on the road actually, and here we are off-road and it has no problems at all. There's plenty of suspension travel, but they've managed to keep the bounce down so you don't find yourself throwing the car upside down all the time, which can so easily happen. I have a second build and some track driving to look at, but first let's look at this particular build and compare with the real car. We'll see little differences of course as we go between the photo and the real thing in order to avoid copyright infringement for Rockstar, but overall it's extremely close, and this build is simple and effective. There's just those few points on the top left which you can screenshot, and on top of that the armour etc is down to you. Just so you know, mine is maxed out on all the armour performance and I use white lights from the car meet. As we start the track work, this is a good time to mention this car does not have the HSW upgrade. I'm on PC, so unfortunately it never will. But of course if you're on next gen, or is it called current gen now, you can put that upgrade on the car. I've seen other people's videos, it does make it distinctly faster for another 1 point something million. The car can also take Imani Tech. Now, I don't tend to put that on any car, I barely play in free mode anymore, but there's not many cars that can take both, so that could be very important to you. Watching the car go round this lap, there's a few things you may have noticed. The first thing I noticed was the brakes. Every time you brake, it dips on the suspension, which is a great feeling, but it really does brake exceptionally well, and that really helps with the lap time. The acceleration is pretty decent, and the top speed is decent enough at least for this track. I don't think it's that high, but it's pretty good. If you get about the right speed for the corner, it corners very flat, it corners very neutrally, and you'll make very good progress round the lap. However, it is a short wheelbase and it can be caught out occasionally if you're a little bit too vicious on the controls, which is very easy to do driving on a keyboard. And when that happens you will see the tail flick really very quickly, although it does correct very quickly, but it loses you a little bit of time. So pretty fast and fun on the lap, therefore also a lot of fun to drive through town, but do bear in mind when I took the Draugar on this track it was almost 3 seconds a lap quicker, so you're not buying this to win any races. On to the second build. I spent quite a long time trying to work out where this livery came from till I found this one photograph which seems to show the same car but with yellow, where this one is of course using that blue and white mountain. I think the one was inspired from the other, so certainly I've chosen this for my second build on the car. The build is again fairly simple, so I'm listing it on the top left, and I think this would do your rally collection proud. Anyway, let's move on and rate the car out of 5 stars, starting with looks. You know, I'm going to go straight in with the full 5 stars. I think my only negative is that when you have the MonstroCiti livery, which we showed earlier, in reality it just went over the back windows, leaving the windows there, whereas to get the full effect in game you do need to put the window plating on. A very minor thing, and the other detail changes are so small, so yeah, 5 stars there. For driving, I'm going to give the car 4 stars. I've taken off 1 star for it not being competitive in its class. But otherwise, you know, I really enjoy driving this car. And, you know, that's for what it is. It's not an Italia GTO, it doesn't drive like one. But for the class, yeah, I think this is a great and fun car to drive. The value for money, I'm coming in at 4 stars. I do think the car is a bit expensive for what it is and what it offers. However, if you are a collector, the really good looks, the liveries, the real world aspects of this car will raise this into something you absolutely want to buy, and That's certainly the case for me, just a little pricey. And if you're on the appropriate console and having HSW and Imani tech on the same vehicle is important to you, well, again, that may raise this up pretty high in the rankings. So that's my review. It's a little pricey for what it is, but what it is pretty good. If you got any value from this, I would really appreciate a like to help me grow the channel. It would be fantastic. I'd also love a comment down below whether you're buying the car and what you're doing with it. But otherwise, as always, thank you so much for watching.